You don't feel stuck by accident. You trained yourself to be this way. Every time you chose comfort instead of effort, every time you said, "I'll do it later," your brain learned something. Not discipline, avoidance. And now, it doesn't even wait for you to decide anymore. It chooses for you. That's why you keep doing the same things, even when you know they're ruining your life. And this is where it gets worse. You think you have a motivation problem. You don't. You have a pattern problem. Because motivation comes and goes, but patterns, they stay. And the pattern you built is designed to keep you exactly where you are. Look at your day, not what you planned, what actually happens. You wake up, you check your phone, just for a minute. But that minute turns into 20, then 40, then an hour, and nothing even happened. No progress, no real rest, no purpose, just consumption. And your brain, it loves it because it's easy. No resistance, no effort. That's dopamine. And here's the part nobody tells you. Dopamine isn't just pleasure, it's training. Every time you choose something easy, your brain rewires itself. It learns easy is better. Effort is optional. Discomfort should be avoided. So the next time you try to do something hard, your brain fights back. Not aggressively, subtly. You feel tired. You feel distracted. You suddenly don't feel like it. That's not random. That's conditioning. You built that response. And now, you're stuck inside it. This is the real problem. You're not choosing your actions anymore. Your habits are. You think you're in control, but look closer. You don't decide to scroll. You just open the app. You don't decide to delay. You just say later. You don't decide to quit. You just stop. That's not control. That's automation. And automation is powerful because it runs without effort. That's why change feels so hard. You're not fighting laziness. You're fighting a system you built. A system designed for comfort. And comfort is addictive. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet, consistent way. You choose it again and again until it becomes your default. That's when identity shifts. You don't just act this way. You become this way. Someone who delays. Someone who avoids. Someone who doesn't follow through. And once that identity locks in, everything feels harder. Not because it is, because it goes against who you've become. That's why you start things and don't finish them. Why you plan things and don't execute them. Why you know exactly what to do, but still don't do it. That's the conflict. Awareness without action. And that's where most people stay. Because knowing feels productive. It feels like progress. But it's not. Because nothing changes. You don't build discipline by thinking. You build it by doing. Repeatedly. And you haven't done that. So your brain trusts the easier path every time. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because the longer you stay in this pattern, the more normal it feels. You stop questioning it. You stop reacting to it. You stop trying to change it. And that's when it becomes permanent. Not officially, but practically. Because you've adapted to it. You've built a life around avoidance. And now, you're living inside it. That's why everything feels off. Not terrible, but not right either. Just stuck. That's not bad luck. That's repetition. You repeated the same behavior long enough, it became your reality. And unless something interrupts that pattern, nothing changes. Not next week, not next month, not next year. Because your future is just your present, repeated. That's the truth. You're not waiting to change. You're waiting to feel ready. And that feeling? It never comes. Because readiness is created by action, not the other way around. So you stay where you are, thinking about change, talking about change, imagining change, but never becoming it. And the longer that continues, the harder it becomes to break. Not impossible, but heavier. Because now you're not just changing behavior, you're changing identity. And identity resists. It pulls you back every time until you either break the pattern or accept it. And most people, they accept it quietly, without realizing it, and call it life.